Welcome to another episode, everyone. Please subscribe to the channel if you have not done so. And Jefe, well, he is attacking Spider Lope, if you will, saying that he is ready to expose him and expose the fact that he too, Spider that is, dissed the Hoovers in a text message. Now, come to find out that the individual that made that very nasty and distasteful content disrespecting the Hoovers was and is indeed Aunt Jefe's brother. He himself confirmed this. I'll let Aunt Jefe speak and then I'll get into it. Now, this is Aunt Jefe's disclaimer. I'm tired. So I didn't put my own disclaimer on this video in particular. Didn't feel like I needed to. I think I'm safe with Aunt Jefe despite the circumstances. And Aunt Jefe has his own disclaimer in his own words. Down here at the bottom, you'll see that it says, use your own judgment and always seek professional advice if needed. Viewer discretion is advised, it said. Aunt Jefe said, use your own judgment and always seek professional advice. This coming from young Aunt. Shout out to young Aunt. This is his brother's issue as far as I'm concerned, or whatever. Not him. He didn't say it. His brother did.
What's the good old big deal with the good old people, man? It's your boy Young Aunt Jefe. Don't care about number what the check say. Make sure you go ahead, like, and subscribe because it don't cost you nothing to press that button. And if you ring that notification bell, I'm going to bring you mail. What's the good old big deal with the good old people? It's Hot Topics with your boy Young Aunt Jefe. And I'm here to deliver you another one like the other one. The recipient of Hot Topics is Spider Ho. Spider Ho it is. Continues to want to play games. So, a few days ago, right? It was something very controversial that happened, right? So I got a little brother that goes by the name of NBA 2. Some know who he is, some don't. Pretty sure you ain't heard his name on the internet. Rather, it had been him going live with B Braze and Who's chopping it up and just, getting into the gang politics, stuff that happened in jail and things like that. As well, it was something very controversial as well that happened between him and C-Star from the Rolling 40s. C-Star had his side, NBA 2 had his side. And as well, we heard from others that was there. Now, to conclude this, right, the other day, my brother, whatever it is he's going through, he decided to take to social media, right? He take to social media, he goes on a vulgar rant. And in that rant, he's disrespecting Hoover, as well as saying some other things that I would never in my life say on camera. I would never in my life on camera say these things toward anybody, whether I have any hate, whether I view them as an enemy, whether I view them as an ops. It's just certain things that you don't say on camera. I don't have to replay what was said here on my channel. It went viral on Instagram. It was up probably for about 15, 20 minutes. I tapped in with him. Hey, bro, what are you doing? You sound stupid. Take that down. Had him take the post down. But with the messiness of the internet and people that's having like-minded enemies and people that they dislike, it got screen recorded and it got sent around. And with that getting sent around, a lot of guys who are oppositions of the Hoovers and have dislike for the Hoovers posted this post of my brother dissing Hoover and basically like, hey, we feel you, you know what I'm saying, we with you, and just, making laughing emojis. Now with that, of course, a lot of these hoods is prideful, you know what I'm saying? Any hood, you know what I'm saying? Whether it's a small hood, a bunk hood, or whatever the case may be. The Hoovers, a gang that got some numbers. The Hoovers known to act up, you feel me, and have some stupidity behind they push and how they push to where they like pushing the slogan that they most hated. Now with that, they members seen it, and of course, it was a lot of talk, it was a lot of chatter. They homies feeling some type of way, people tapping in, hey, this need to be done. Everybody want to have an opinion. Everybody coming out, oh, this person on drugs, this person this person that. So with that situation taking place,
Well, yes, absolutely. As you can imagine, a lot of people have an opinion on this. And I'll just say this, far beyond me to go into the politics of it all. It is simply not my place to do so. But as you all can imagine, just use your common sense. Naturally, I guess I can go as far as to say that people are upset, of course, and, there's been chatter, if you will, behind the scenes about this. Hell, I received some phone calls myself last night. Baby Ant. Shout out to Baby Ant. This is young Ant. Baby Ant called me, as I've said before here on the channel many times. He and I are pretty close. This is my boy. This is my loved one, my guy here. Baby Ant. And, he said that he had received some phone calls, from some Hoovers, basically, and that some people want this dude NBA 2 DP, disciplined, that is. And he just said that, you know how it is, but we all got homies, that you can't control, that you cannot control, bro. You say what you want, do what you want. These dudes just spaz out or whatever. And, these dudes are uncontrollable. And that is oftentimes true, but however, when you do get out of control, then you get put back into control. You get put back into position when you do get out of position, when you do get out of line. This is how it typically goes. This is how it's supposed to go. You can lose control and be out of control and be, headstrong and willful, if you will, but there are consequences to those sort of actions. Every action has a reaction. Now, I cannot, take out or take what this individual said out on anyone else other than this individual, NBA 2. So I'm not mad at Baby Ant at all. He's right. He's his own man. He didn't say this. I'm not mad at Young Ant. Young Ant just said, man, he said some stuff that I would never say. So how can I hold him accountable, even though it's his brother, for what his brother said and did? And he said he would never do something like that. And not to mention, he's the one that's told his brother, man, hey, take that damn post down. I will say that it's not necessarily the messiness of the internet, Young Ant. When people post this, of course they're going to post this sort of stuff. It's content, it's whatever, man. It's a situation. It's not a big deal, but to some people it is. It's something that happened, and of course, just like Gumby going to jail, whatever. This sort of stuff with people that's in the content genre. People are going to make content about it, and no one should really take this sort of thing personal. We all make content, Now, naturally, there are some high-ranking individuals that are far beyond my pay grade that are also unhappy about this unsavory display by this individual NBA 2. And, I only do what I'm told, you understand? Though I am someone, when it comes to some of these individuals, I'm no one. They have to, as I said, I respect my big homies. I respect my G's, period. Now, what they say goes. Now, that's it. I'm not going to get too deep into nothing other than to say that. Probably already said too damn much. All right. So, however, having said that, I will say that for me, anyway, the objective is always peace. And violence has always been the last resort for me in any situation, because I have a healthy disdain for violence. I don't like it. So I prefer not to partake in it or involve myself in it unless absolutely necessary. Sometimes it has been necessary, unfortunately. And the Hoovers and the 8-Tray gangsters, have been allies for many years, many decades. Some real close love individuals on that side that the Hoovers really love and have a lot of love for, bro. People don't understand this, don't understand how deep it is. You understand? Yes, we've had a couple of skirmishes, a couple of situations where things have been lukewarm. This sort of thing happens. It happened with the Troubles. Had a skirmish with them, if you will. A little mini war. These are our loved ones and allies. And these things happen between brothers sometimes. And many 8-Tray gangsters that I certainly view as my brother. Baby Ant being one of them. So I would never want to take what this individual said and did, NBA 2, out on all other 8-Tray gangsters or be upset with all other 8-Tray gangsters over something that this one individual said and did and how he personally feels. He does not represent or speak for the entire gang. He speaks for himself. This is how he felt. Should I be upset with everyone else over there who I know have love for me? No. Should his words start a war between two people who've been getting along for decades? Hit him and his words? No. Should he be DP, disciplined in some sort of way? Yes. Absolutely. Because we're not enemies, we're allies. And, when you come on there like that, you act like you're representing your whole gang, making these sort of comments. You didn't make it seem as if you were representing yourself. And that's where people take issue. But not me personally, because I understand when you take the emotion out of it and think about the situation, detach yourself from it emotionally, that this individual made this decision upon his own volition to go on Instagram and say the things that he said. And then as Anna said, told him, hey, bro, what are you doing, man? Take this stuff down. And again, Ant said that he would never do it. But let me let Ant continue because he's on Spider about some things that Spider also supposed had said or sent a text message about to someone.
Hoover member also as well took to his Instagram page and he dissed 8-Tray and said some other things, said some other incriminating things that can also get him in trouble. I don't know why these dudes talk like that, rather in their feelings or in their emotions. When you in your feelings and your emotions, I just feel for anybody that really means that you want to hurt something. Other than that, it's just irritable. You just irritate. It's just irritated. So, however, a few of these members,
Okay, so I don't know about that. I'm not doubting what Anna's saying. I'm saying that has not come across my timeline as of yet. I will check that out or see who that was or what happened there. Anna is saying that a Hoover member, in response to NBA 2, got on Instagram and, said what he said, what Ant just said that he said about the 8-Tray gangsters or whatever. So it's a sort of, internet back and forth thing going on now, the sort of stuff that we don't need. And, not to bring prison politics into this, but prison is indeed, and the politics are a microcosm of society, or vice versa, because a lot of the prison politics spill over into the street, and these politics are in place for a reason in prison, and they are pertinent to the street in that they save lives. These rules that are established there in prison and exercised on a daily basis. And that is, that when someone in your faction gets out of line, does something to disrespect another race, another car, another gang, another faction, that individual is removed from the yard immediately by his gang, by his faction. Because if he is not, then it's going to ignite a war between the people that he disrespected. Naturally, they're in prison. We can all do well to take heed to these sort of politics. Now, again, personally, I'm not taking it out on anyone other than the individual who made the offensive comments that I indeed take umbrage to. Nevertheless, he's an individual man, and if I take issue with him, then I take issue with him and not his gang. But we'll see how this materializes. I have my opinion. I have my thoughts. I think I know where it could go, where it may go, where it may not go. But I'm not going to get into all of that here on the internet, or exactly what's been going on behind the scenes, as I said. It is what it is.
Supposedly came over to my community and they hollered at some of the members that was out there, and they asked and popped the question like, hey man, what's going on? Like, y'all tripping with us? And the homies told him like, hey, look, that's one homie, he on what he on right now, mental disability, having problems, and as well, indulging in some things he shouldn't be indulging in. And, for whatever reason, he had a rant. Now, I'm not about to go into his personal business and why he said it, but he said what he said, you feel me? But it wasn't like he just came out the blue and just said what he said. He got into it with one of their members, over a personal situation. And instead of leaving that on the phone between them two members, he took to social media and said what he said. And it caught fire and went crazy, because this is what people want. This is what people promote. People promote controversy. It ain't been really too much going on social media. So people was loving to catch this and attach my name to it. And Jefe brother said this, and Jefe this, and Jefe that. Cold weirdos, because if you gonna put somebody out there, just put him out there. Stop saying Aunt Jefe brother. Stop saying Aunt Jefe brother. As if Aunt Jefe said it. Yeah, he my brother. But why do you gotta attach Aunt Jefe brother? He has his own name, carved his own name, and took his own steps. His name is NBA 2. And that's what you could have put. But that's the clickbait. People want to do stuff for views and likes. And that's why I keep telling y'all, these members are really not members. They'll make you bow out with the goofy stuff they doing. Steady coming to the internet, promoting stuff that should be in the streets. And I told my brother the same thing. You're goofy. You sound goofy. You promoting something that should stay in the streets and shouldn't even be on your social page. So with all that, I'm pretty sure, I don't know how many channels spun a narrative or came on YouTube to try to get some views off of it. Hey, Aunt brother said this, Aunt Jefe brother said that. But out of everybody, the stupidest person to say something is the Spider Ho guy. Now,
just briefly, I'll say, and I'll let Aunt continue, that I indeed made a video about it myself. I am from Hoover, though. So I have a stake in this. Yeah, I made a video about it for sure. But I didn't make a big deal about it, if you watch my video whatsoever. And as I said in my video, I wasn't even sure if it was Aunt Jefe's brother. This was what individuals were saying. And I said in my video, I wasn't going to put that in my title or my thumbnail, that it was Aunt Jefe's brother, because it had not been confirmed for me, that it was his brother. I said, if Aunt Jefe comes out and says this is his brother, then that's something different. And this is what he's saying now, But I didn't, it's nothing to profit off of, or certainly not trying to stir up any controversy, And at the end of the day, we all have to take accountability for our own actions and put the onus on the individual that, when you say that people are emotional or working off of emotions, like, the Hoover that responded, got, was probably in his feelings and got emotional and responded and said what he said on the internet. But it looks like, if anything, NBA 2 started off, he was emotional. He started with the emotional stuff. If what we're hearing is correct, that he had an argument with a Hoover on the telephone, had nothing to do with the internet, had nothing to do with Instagram, had nothing to do with the rest of the Hoovers. He had an individual situation with an individual who happened to be from Hoover, and instead of taking it up with that individual, mano y mano, you got a problem with that one man, instead of going to approach that one man like, bro, we need to handle that one problem. However it's going to be handled, we got to handle that. You bring the whole, that's being emotional. You diss the whole, fuck Snoover. God damn, what Hoover got to do with all of that? The one argument that you had with this one individual. So if people end up responding to it or reacting to it, bro, no one can be upset about that. I didn't make a big deal about it. I'm still not now. I'm letting Jefe say what he has to say. And as I said from the beginning, and what he's saying is making, it makes perfect sense to me. Hey, NBA 2 has his own name. Why y'all putting my name in it, saying that it's Aunt Jefe's brother? It is his brother, but he's his own man. He's his own man. And this is what he did. As Aunt Jefe said, he carved out his own way, his own reputation, his own name from A-Tray Gangsta. He's not living as Aunt Jefe's little brother. He's living as NBA 2. I'm my own man. So Aunt Jefe is just saying, man, don't put that shit on me. He his own man. I didn't say it, and I would never say that. I get that, bro. But I'm just saying, if people, make content about it, but he's talking about Spider. He's about to get into Spider a little bit more, I suppose, it looks like. But he's talking about Spider Loc, who, of course, them two have been going back and forth for some time now, a few months now. I forget how it started or whatever. They've been calling each other out of their name and all of that for some time now. And Spider had did a video. It came across my timeline. I did see it, or I saw like the title, the thumbnail, what have you. And I did watch actually 3 or 4 minutes of Spider's video yesterday. And Spider did a video on this very thing on NBA 2. And I guess he put in his title, if I recall correctly, that it was Aunt Jefe's brother. He didn't refer to him as Aunt Jefe, but Aunt Jefe's brother diss Hoover, or whatever. So this is what Aunt is talking about, that people putting, my name in it for content or for views and likes, instead of just saying NBA 2 diss Hoover or whatever, y'all said Aunt Jefe's brother. He's his own man. He does his own thing. Holler at him about that. Put his name in the title and the thumbnail, not mine. I didn't say it. He did. I get that. I get that. I'm sure that would be my sentiment as well. And it's a hard situation to be in, of course. This is his brother. I saw someone else say in the comments, I don't give a damn. My blood brother, I'm right. Whatever he on, I'm on. Right or wrong, period. So it's a hard situation to be in, because some people just going to ride with their brother regardless. Even if he was dead wrong, it's like, it's still my brother. What can I do? It's still my brother. Fuck this gang shit and all that. It's my blood brother, So it's a tough situation. Then at the same time, you a member and he wrong. You live by a certain code and certain politics yourself. This is what you say. If this is what you put out there, then, you can't necessarily play favors and say, this is my brother, so it's cool if he does it. And that's not what he's doing. He's saying, man, I disagree with that. I would never do that. He said he's going through some personal problems or whatever. He's not, he hasn't, I think Ant is pretty much handling the situation the best he can, is handling it pretty well. He's not throwing his brother under the bus. And at the same time, he's not excusing his brother's behavior. He said that his brother was wrong, that he did something that he would never do. He called his brother and told him, man, what the hell you doing? You tripping. You goofy. You know what I'm saying? Take that shit down. And he took it down, And then he went as far as to say his brother going through whatever he's going through and having some problems or whatever. That's not throwing him under the bus. He's just, and he's not also excusing his behavior. He's just trying to explain it. But it's a tough position for him to be in. This is his brother.
This guy, Penny's still in the bunch. He's still been in his feelings. because I've dropped factual and said factual things pertaining to this guy. No lies. I've long been rid of this guy. Don't think of this guy. This guy don't cross my mind. Don't watch this guy content. But every time something happens with somebody, whether it's an ex-A-Tray or something that got to do with somebody from A-Tray, this weird clown keeps tagging me. Oh, Sabu, and Jefe this. Oh, Sabu. Like, bro, what are you talking about, bro? You are goofy. Do you have a girlfriend? Are you getting any coochie? Because I don't understand, why are you still at me months down the line? You are the goofy, bro. Do I need to drop these texts? I got texts of you confirming, hey, bro, I know you a real one, woo, this and that. You've been around dudes. Every dude you go around keep telling you, this dude is thorough. This dude is real. I don't know what you got going, man. I know, man. He just he a keyway. What do you keep at me for, goofy? I don't care about nothing you talking about. I don't think about you. But this is where you goofy at, and this is where I'm about to expose you at, since you want to open your mouth and you want to keep talking and you want to try to start stuff on the internet. What about these texts I got of you that I can drop with you dissing Hoover? You the same dude talking to me dissing Hoover as if I'm from Hoover, but then I hear you a few days later talking to Smack. Oh, hey, Smack, man, come to the black box, bro. Man, you know I'm going to hook it up for you. You know, I just got it repainted, got everything done. I'm going to get the orange mics and this and that, and we going to do it like that for you, Groove, and this and that. But you the same dude dissing these dudes, community behind their back, but posing and acting as if you rock with them or you cool with them. Like, who does that? And that's the type of spider mentality that you have, and why you can't be trusted. I have a lot of emails, bro, that can do some damage. I got a lot of emails that can do some damage with your homies and relationships you have with dudes that think that you're cool, and you have spoke out against them. You and gave dudes up, dudes in question, you and asked you who said what, and you dropping names, dude. Like, come on. Like, are you that stuck? Are you that slow? You are a dope fiend and a drug addict yourself, bro. You sit up here popping these bad pills. Ecstasy has everything in it, everything known to man in it. And you talking about somebody on the streets and is a spice head. You are the same person. If you were locked up today and went to jail, you will be one of those guys with a Bible and or a kufi on your head, or you will be one of those guys that's indulgent in spice yourself. So how can another drug addict talk about another drug addict? And that's where I'll be talking about the game, where the game is messed up at, because you got poison judging poison. It'll be a poisonous person see somebody else do poison and get on the net and try to call they poison out as if they are not poisonous. It's an oxymoron that don't make no sense. You dissed Hoover. I got receipts. And if you keep playing, I'm going to post you dissing Hoover and stuff that you were saying. So why would you even get on the internet playing, oh, Jefe brother on Spice, he dissing Hoover and this and that? Like, it don't make no sense. You dissed Hoover. When you talk, certain words that come out your mouth, you dissed as if you a member and you still in the streets, and you're not. You're a grandpa trying to make a living off social media, bro. Stick to your longshoreman job, and find something safe to do, bro. Stop acting and using my name, clown, before I expose you, goofy. And with that being said, I'm going to conclude it right there. It's your boy, Young and Jefe. Don't care about number what the check say. Make sure you go ahead.
All right. There you have it. Young and Jefe. Don't care about nothing but what that Chi-neck sack. Shout out to Young Ant, man. On a serious note, you know, shout out to Young Ant, bro. Like I said, and shout out to him. Nothing against that individual. Not even, you know, I'm not even tripping on his brother like that. I'm beyond all of that, but I'm just saying, that was crazy what his brother did. But Ant said what he had to say about it. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. You know, he's in a tough situation. You know, he's on Spider, and he said that Spider, he has text messages of Spider dissing Hoover. He has receipts. Spider speaking on individuals that he shouldn't have been speaking on, exposing things that he should not have been exposing, etc. And so Spider should not have been the one to get on here and try to expose his brother or disseminate this information that his brother is the culprit of putting out. And he said that, again, he has these messages. So what did Spider send these messages to? Who did he send them to? Who is he dissing Hoover to in these messages? Who's just going back and forth with Spider, having these conversations and laughing in the text messages as he's dissing Hoover? Just curious. And I will say that Spider dissing Hoover is to be expected. If he did, he's from neighborhood. He's from East Coast. Now, if he's dissing Hoover and then implied, insinuated, or flat out said, is at the same time, in the same breath, hollering at S-Mac and T-Rail and whatever they was trying to hook up or whatever, then he, being a hypocrite, then I get what he's saying. But I'll just say that that's a bit different than, a dude from A-Trade Gangster dissing Hoover. And not in a text message, but online screaming it, with total toxic vitriol in his soul as he's screaming this shit. But whatever, man. And explained that he said he's going through some things. He got into it with a dude over the phone. He took it to Instagram. That's what dudes doing these days on the internet. And said he called him out on it, bro. Said that he was a goofy. He said he told him that he was a goofy. So there you have it. I'm not here to make a big deal about the shit, man. Shout out to Baby Ant and Young Ant, bro. Stay safe and stay free, people.